Because they test it, right, to see. They taste it. They test it. Right. Yep. This is infected.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's a bitter one. Some earwax. Staphylococcus. Yep. Hey, welcome to episode 94 of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Blake.
Hey, Nick.
And Saveun.
Yo.
How's it going, guys?
Pretty great.
Great.
Pretty great.
That's good to hear.
I'm nodding.
It's been a couple months really since our last
Yeah.
real.
Did you listen to the D&D?
Sure didn't. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
I might give it a listen.
Yeah.
Nick, why do you say that? You're not going to
I'm
listen.
probably not gonna, but I might. You never know.
We know that's a lie.
I
Nick.
leave that
Stop
open. I leave that possibility open. I'm not going to say I'm never going to listen to it, even though it's probably true.
You might accidentally listen to it.
Yeah. Someone puts it in my ears while I'm sleeping.
Yeah, you're asleep and you're listening to like soothing ocean waves or something, and then for some reason the next track.
I roll 20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Although I'm pretty sure it's a card-based game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no dice rolling.
If you'd watched it, if you'd listened to it,
if I'd watched it,
you'd know. If you'd watched it,
Who's
you
to
wouldn't
say
need
I
to listen
wasn't?
to it.
I may have been there watching silently. All right. So it's been a couple months.
Yep.
A lot has happened. We released Betrayal. We haven't spoken about that at all, really, other than like.
No, I think last time it hadn't quite been released, and we
That's
could
right.
only vaguely talk about it.
That's right. Also, Christmas happened.
Yep.
We've had our breaks. I think we've all been playing numerous games. So we got a lot to talk about. What have you been playing? Let's start with you.
I was going to ask, what did you guys do on your break?
Oh, I went to Australia.
Cool. Okay.
Yep. Visited some family, and actually we played Carl's board game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Endeavor. It's quite fun. It's a solid game. A+.
Cool.
Thumbs up. What about you guys?
Man, I was saying to Saveun before that I took 4 weeks off, and that's like the most time I've ever taken off in my like working life.
Wow.
It was great, and I just like for like pretty much half of it just played video games solidly.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool.
What did you play?
I played Destiny 2.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
I didn't think I would get into that, but I got it because during BlizzCon it was free.
Okay.
They had like a free thing, so I just got it.
Yeah.
And then hadn't played it for, I had it for a few weeks and hadn't played it, and then kind of really got into it over the holidays.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of addicted to it. Like I bought all the expansions. I've bought like the season pass. Like I'm deep into this game.
But now, everything I've heard about Destiny 2
Yeah.
on the internet is that it's worse than Destiny 1.
Well, I never played Destiny 1, so I have no idea.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that
That's cool.
Is that all you played?
Well, I'll talk about Destiny 2 a bit.
We will. Don't worry about that.
Fine. I also played another game called Stonehearth.
What? Is that really what it's called?
That's really what it's called. And
Is it a
why
game
are you
card?
laughing? What's that?
Is it a game card?
No,
Oh.
it's not. It's a village management game like Banished.
Okay.
But what's kind of cool, what's really cool is that it's sort of voxel based and it looks a bit Minecrafty. And you're like managing this town. But what's really cool is that you build all the buildings out of like little blocks.
Yeah, like Minecraft.
Like Minecraft and like Lego. So it really feels like I'm playing with like a Lego town that's
Right.
alive, and like the people are like doing little jobs, and like there's a blacksmith and like a carpenter, and like goblins attack the village, so you got to build like a wall, and you can like
Sure.
you build the wall yourself, so you can like design it however you want. It's like, and yeah, I really got into that game. I probably
That
played
sounds
it for
fun,
like
actually.
I probably played it for like a week solid.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about you, Saveun? What are you playing?
Over the break, I finished Red Dead.
Okay.
Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
That was good. And my other jam was Ashen, and
Oh,
I'm getting real frustrated with that.
Oh, really?
But I'm gonna try push through and
okay.
and get somewhere in that game.
Okay. Now I have one question.
Mhm.
Now that you've beaten Red Dead,
Mm-hmm.
what's better, Red Dead or GTA?
I don't know. What is better and like
What are you basing it on? What are the criteria?
Yeah.
It's what is it's
Are cars
Savern's
better than
opinion is my
horses?
criteria.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, I think Red Dead's better in like every way.
Cool.
Um,
It certainly has me more interested.
What was cool was listening to the Giant Bombs Game of the Year discussion.
Yeah.
And some of the moments that happened, you kind of just play through them. Well, I was just playing through them and not
Yeah.
really thinking too much about it. And when they went back and started talking about like best gaming moments, a lot of Red Dead missions happened to come up, and yeah, it was really cool to like listen back on them and how everything kind of came together and made that experience kind of awesome. You know, music and everything.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty fantastic story wise.
What is it? Is it your favorite game now?
I don't know, man. It's definitely pleasant. I like I like just
Oh, high praise.
going around.
It's not
pleasant.
unpleasant. That's for sure.
It's nice. It's a really nice feeling game. But it kind of left like once you've completed it, and all the epilogues, the 2 epilogues.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of no reason for you to go back in.
What about the
Sorta.
online?
What's that?
What about the online?
Oh, there is that. And that's completely different and kind of cool. It's got like a little story mission too.
Oh, cool.
But it's not grabbing me like Grand Theft Auto Online did.
Yeah.
And I think it's mainly because of my mates. Like
Right.
a lot of them are just not there.
Yeah.
They're like doing chores and being adults.
Oh,
Ugh.
man. Yep.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
You got to do chores in Red Dead, right? You got to cut the wood in the camp and
Move hay.
move some hay and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, there is that.
You know, like an adult.
Yeah. Yep. Chores in a video game.
Chores in a video
Yeah.
game, like an adult.
A lot of games at this point have chores in them. Which
Yeah.
is,
It's
I don't know how
it's
much
for
I
that
like that.
realism and immersion.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know how on board I am with that
Yeah.
trend.
I think for Red Dead, those chores, like, I bet any other game, if they made them exactly the same, it would be so boring. But because the camp is just so alive and people are talking to you and you're hearing conversations, it's kind of cool.
Can't wait to clean my gun.
I'm just sitting there chopping. Yeah, I'm just sitting there chopping wood and like hearing an argument between a drunk preacher and like the cook, and I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, it is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, if there's stuff going on around you, that
Yeah.
can be
If
quite
you're just like,
meditative.
if it's just like, okay, so Skyrim, right? You could say that the blacksmith stuff, the way you just grind, you make 1,000 daggers to get
Yeah.
your blacksmith thing, like that's the equivalent of chopping wood, and it's boring as hell.
Yeah.
You're just watching a bar go.
Yeah.
And yes,
So you're saying if there was someone next to you
There was-
talking about,
if there were people arguing around, if there was something lively happening around you, it would be
it would be
way
better.
enjoyable.
Sure.
Instead of just being like, got to get through this so I can
Yeah.
blacksmith.
This is
better
why I
stuff.
play podcasts and whatnot through some games.
Oh man.
Like, how far did you get on Red Dead?
Where did I get to? I got to the part where you have to investigate a. I got to go talk to like some dude in a big like plantation kind of like
Oh, okay,
manor house. Yeah.
I think you're like chapter 3. or maybe
Yeah,
chapter
yeah.
3
How many
or 4.
chapters are there?
5?
Halfway through.
5 or 6, I think. I don't even know anymore. But man, like towards the end, third act kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's nuts, man. Like the whole tone shifts. It feels crazy.
I think
That kind of group feel that you had in the first 2 acts is like it's non-existent. And it's pretty cool to have that feeling, especially like, you know, you talk about doing chores, and towards the end you're just like, I'm not even gonna deal with these guys.
wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Like,
Yep.
you feel it. Which is quite nice.
All right, let's talk about. Oh, actually, I've got stuff. I can talk about the games I've been playing.
Yeah. What are you playing?
I forgot I've been playing games. Okay,
Pretty great games, they sound like.
No, I've been playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu
Oh, yeah.
with my wife. Mostly, I bought it because she's never really played a Pokemon game, and this looks
We should
like
play Pokemon Go.
Huh?
Let's play Pokemon Go.
She does play Pokemon Go. Yes. So we played that together. I also bought and have been playing Super Smash Brothers, which is awesome, really fun.
I keep hearing that, but no one ever talks any more about it. They say
Everyone-
it's awesome.
They're all too
People
busy
are-
playing it.
Everyone's playing at work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I caught a bit of it.
every Friday. Every Friday we bring in our Switches.
Okay.
It's real fun.
Who's top dog?
Yeah.
That's a good question, actually.
Who's playing Kirby?
I'll tell you who
Yeah,
I
who
think
else playing?
who's playing Kirby.
yeah.
Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is like Kirby is OP, right?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
I mean,
I thought
Kirby's
Pikachu
all right.
was the OP one.
Oh shit. I don't know. Something cuddly.
There's like 76 characters at this point.
Which is
I-
the good one.
You know, it's weird. I've been playing as Ganondorf, who is like widely considered one of the worst.
Yeah.
But he just hits so hard. that,
Oh,
like,
man.
People don't seem to see it coming
Yeah.
when I slam him. So
Well, when you say he's considered one of the worst, is that at some like ultra pro level?
yeah.
Yeah,
On,
not
tier
like
lists
the
and stuff.
mundane person
Yeah.
level.
in the Smash Brothers meta. But
Yeah.
our work Smash Brothers meta is not that advanced.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick who the best player is, I would say probably Chris H, who guest a friend of
Really?
the podcast, Chris. He's pretty dang solid.
Wow.
Yep.
Who does he go?
I'm
He's a
trying to remember.
Pikachu, right?
He
Yep.
he's pretty versatile. Who did he play last time? I think he played a little bit of Bowser. He played I think he was playing Captain Falcon. Was that him? I don't know. I just know that he whenever I saw him, he was kicking butt.
Mm.
Played Lucinia. I don't remember her name. It's one of the 7 Fire Emblem sword wielding characters that they've got.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, I remember a few weeks back we scrolled through the characters, and there were a lot of like anime looking
Yeah.
people in there that with a big sword.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I guess that's from
It's Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem.
Yep. I don't actually know why they keep so here's I've played one Fire Emblem game. I don't think I beat it. I don't even know how far I got.
Hmm.
It was fun, but
People really liked
didn't-
it.
Huh?
People I've heard really got into that.
Yes, it's turn-based strategy.
Yeah, but there's like relationship stuff between the units, right? Like they have like a friendship or something that, and the more you use two people, the like closer their bond and the better they are fighting together or
maybe.
something like that. That's what I've heard. I don't know.
Not in the one I played.
Okay,
Or at
never
least if
mind.
that was a mechanic in the one I played, I did
Yeah.
not utilize it. I don't know. I don't understand the like huge draw, but I think it's mostly popular in Japan. Like
Yep.
it's I think it's huge in Japan, and so they put a bunch of characters in there for that reason. What else? I've been playing a lot of mobile games as usual.
Right.
Some idle games and stuff.
Did you ever get into Life is Strange?
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
started it and then I never continued it. I should do
Yeah,
that.
come on.
Oh, Katamari. Katamari Damacy came
Yeah.
out on the Switch. That game's awesome. Yeah, been playing a lot of games. All right, let's talk about.
What mobile games did you play?
Okay, let's have a quick look. So there's one I'm currently playing. One of these idle games. It's called Idle Zen.
Yep.
And like your typical sort of idle incremental game,
hmm
there's just tons of things to upgrade and things get more valuable and you reset to you prestige and that sort of thing. The reason I like this one is because it uses ball physics as
Okay.
its main mechanic. So like basically the whole thing is like a giant pachinko.
Right, I
level,
see.
And,
yeah.
and the balls are going down this ever lengthening track, and when they reach the bottom, you get points or currency or whatever it is that you.
And how do you
use to
interact
upgrade.
with it?
You can tap to like destroy and thereby cash in the balls early.
Okay.
But if you leave them, they are worth more. And
Right.
So you just sort of let them go, and then like if you tap the screen,
Yeah.
it generates balls faster.
Okay.
And you do have to kind of monitor it to some degree if you're playing it
To
actively.
some degree.
Because
you do have to play this game to some degree.
you do because the ball physics results in blockages.
Right.
Like it's kind of interesting. Anyway, so I've been enjoying. It's not like an amazing game.
Yeah. Is it just
But-
something to look at on a bus?
Yeah, and it's something to do while you're watching TV or whatever it is. Like it's something to keep your hands.
while you're watching
busy.
TV.
Yeah, why not?
All right. What are you watching? That's
What about?
That's
Oh my
boring.
goodness! Actually, okay, it's not boring. This is kind of relevant. I've been watching a show called Taskmaster.
okay.
Have either of you heard of
No.
Taskmaster?
Mhm.
If you can find it on the internet, which you can watch 3 seasons on TVNZ.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. It's a comedian called Greg Davies, British, tall guy, used to be a teacher.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
know that guy.
Yeah. He is the Taskmaster, and
Yeah.
his assistant, Alex Horn, sets 5 comedians a bunch of tasks that are completely pointless.
Cool.
So, for example, I'm trying to think of one of them was like they go outside and there's a giant cube of ice, and the task is make the cube of ice disappear as quickly as possible. You have 1 hour, and your time starts now.
Oh wow.
And so then they just have to go and
Yep.
get rid of it somehow, and it's just like pointless tasks like that. But
Yep.
they're often open ended,
Yeah.
which is what makes the show so good because you've got these lateral thinking
Yep.
comedians, and sometimes not lateral thinking comedians who just brute force it or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
though seeing how people respond to these open ended tasks is
How
just,
do people get rid of the cube of ice?
different ways. 2 people put it in a bathtub full of hot water.
Okay.
And just ran hot water over it. One of those 2 people then also broke off chunks and threw it in the oven
Oh yeah.
and in the sink and on the stove.
Yep.
And just had all of the hot things going at once. One guy grabbed the block of ice and hurled it on the ground, and so it broke up into a bunch of smaller pieces, and then he just started hitting those pieces over and over and over again, trying to
Smaller and
and
pieces.
smaller, just
Yeah.
trying to get it to melt. One guy took it down to the river and then hurled it into the river.
I mean, that made it go away for sure.
But you can see it bobbing, and so they didn't stop the clock. One woman just got like the shower head from the bath
Yep.
tub or whatever, and put it out the window and onto the block of ice while it was outside.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That sounds
they
cool.
different approaches.
This is are these the same comedians that are on all those British panel shows?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And what is actually quite interesting about this show is it's the same 5 people the entire season.
Oh, interesting.
And so each new season they've got a new cast of 5
Yeah.
like competitors. But because you keep the same 5, they build these rivalries, and they have like
Nice.
they build like camaraderie, and
Yeah.
they
Oh, it's a little bit of Survivor, like
well, thing is they very rarely compete
Social
with each
stuff?
other. But no,
No?
not really.
Oh.
No. They mostly just rip into each other. It's
Okay.
great. Well worth watching Taskmaster, and it's got relevance to game design because of all the open-ended tasks. So, really good.
that sounds cool. I'm gonna check
Yeah.
that out.
Tell me about Destiny 2.
Oh man, Destiny 2. I seriously didn't expect to like get into this game as much as I have.
Yeah.
But man, Bungie, they are masters of first-person shooters. Like, just shooting it feels so like rewarding.
Yeah.
Especially like, so the thing for me is like when you get a headshot, like they make a big deal about it. Like there's like the head basically explodes,
Mhm.
and anytime you hit like, because different enemies have different weak spots, it's not always the head.
Mhm.
But whenever you do nail their like weak spot, it's like a massive explosion, and it's so satisfying. And then when you get like that in a whole row, you're just like, I'm the fucking king at this game. This is so much fun. And like even though there's like the main story, and you play through that, and then you have these like missions that pop up on the map that you go to, and you start these little like side missions. But even just running around kind of aimlessly shooting stuff is enjoyable.
Yeah.
And there's
good.
like little things to find as well that aren't mission based as well. Like there's
Sure.
secret dungeons, and like there's just big enemies walking around that when you kill them, they'll give you a big reward kind of thing, and they're just out in the open world. Like it's I didn't expect it to be such a sort of MMO kind of thing.
Okay.
Like it's
I mean, it definitely is an M.
yeah, I know, but I don't know. I didn't kind of expect that. Like I
Right.
thought it was just going to be you load into an area and then you do a mission.
Like
you
sort of
load back
much more
into-
instanced.
Yeah, I thought because I know that there's the hub area where, all the people sort of like is like the home base kind of thing.
Right.
Like our towns or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
And I thought you would get missions and load out into basically solo, or if you wanted to do multiplayer, just linear things. I didn't expect that you had all these.
expected a structure more like our game, basically.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And I didn't expect that you could just choose a planet to go to and just run around and find stuff that you'd like is not mission related.
Right. So I know very little about Destiny 2 in terms of like. I mean, I know it's a shooter. I know.
Yeah.
There's classes, and I know like there's gear.
Yeah.
And like upgrades and equipment and stuff. Are there levels? Like, do you level up?
There's levels. There's levels. If you have just the base game, the max level is 20.
Okay, that's quite low.
But yeah, it is. But you don't really like. You don't like your level doesn't matter that much.
Right.
It's more like that 1 to 20 is really just filling out your skill tree.
Okay.
And then
Sort of that's sort of the tutorial to some degree.
yeah, that's
making
kind of
your
the
character
tutorial,
build
and then the
whatever.
real game starts.
So it definitely is an MMO. then.
Yeah.
Oh, the real game starts once you reach the level
But
cap.
what's interesting is that it's so you've got the levels,
Yeah.
but that's not a way to gauge someone's strength. Because it's
all gear, right?
Yeah, it's all gear, and it's the gear adds to this thing called power level.
Okay.
And so you can like look at someone, and all the gear just adds up to a certain power level, and that's like
This is sounding a lot like Dragon Ball.
yeah,
Z.
it is very much like Dragon Ball Z, and you and so you can see how further ahead a person is
What's your power
on
level?
their power level. Yeah, my power level is 587, I think.
Okay.
But like
That's like
the sort of max ish is around like 650.
that's the max.
Well, it's sort of the soft. They have the soft cap at 500.
Okay.
And that's from all the DLCs, because the vanilla game
Yeah.
you can't really get a power level above like 3 or maybe 350 or 400. Like the gear just doesn't drop for you because you don't have that DLC.
Sure.
And then with all the DLCs, the sort of max-ish power level I think is around like 650.
Okay.
But to go through the stories of the DLCs, every like mission reward you'll get is like upgrading your stuff, and then that sort of stops around like 500.
Okay.
And then you have to start doing the side adventures and the raids and like the
So and you're at 587, did you say?
yeah.
So you've been raiding.
So I've been doing some like dungeon stuff, which is cool because you only need 3 people to do a raid.
Okay.
And WoW,
is
you
that
need like
is that like true end game stuff, or is that like
that's not
small
That's
scale
not really
endgame
true
stuff?
end game stuff. That's like I don't know, what would you call it? Mid end game stuff. Like it's not the end.
it's not
stuff.
top tier?
Yeah, it's not top tier stuff. Like the top tier stuff is doing like a thing called Nightfall Strikes, which are just like the heroic versions, I think, of those things.
Okay.
And there's also what I've been describing are called strikes. These dungeons, these 3-person dungeons,
Yeah.
and that's the same with the Nightfall Strikes. I think are 3-person dungeons. They're just harder. But there's actual things called raids that are like 6-person things.
Sure.
And they're from what I've never done one, but from what I've heard, it's not just like tougher enemies. There's actually like puzzles and things to do.
Okay.
Like
that sounds
apparently
cool.
you can't get through a lot of them with like less than 4 people, and not just based on like enemy like damage and toughness. It's based on like you need 4 people to do
this puzzle
stuff.
4
Yeah.
people need to stand on this button.
Yeah, it's
or
probably I
whatever.
bet it's something
Yeah.
like that. Like I went in, I can just go into a raid solo.
Yeah.
And I walked in there and I killed the first few monsters at the start. They weren't that tough. But then I got to a room that there was nothing in it, and I was like, this looks like a puzzle room.
Right.
And like platforms were moving around when I stood on things.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna need actual people to stand on multiple things to activate multiple things. So it's kind of like it's kind of cool. I didn't expect that sort of thing.
So I have mixed feelings about these sorts of puzzles
Yeah.
in games where the content is meant to be repeated,
Right.
because it becomes quickly a case of who's the dumb idiot in your group who doesn't already know the solution to the puzzle?
Yeah,
and everyone
yeah.
has to babysit or whatever.
This is why I would prefer to play a raid with people I know and we're going through the first time, because we're all experiencing it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'd prefer to play through Strikes, the 3-man dungeons, with people I know because we're going through it the first time. Like this,
Have you been playing with friends?
Yeah. I've been playing with 2 other friends, so we've been. It's been
Gotcha,
pretty cool. But this morning I logged on and one of my mates was on, and we did a couple of strikes. So it was me and him and just a stranger.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a shitty experience because the stranger had clearly gone through these dungeons probably hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And was just like skipping stuff and taking shortcuts that we didn't know existed.
Right.
And like we'd be sitting there fighting stuff, and then we'd look, and he's like halfway across the map already, just heading. This dude's mentality is definitely get to the end, finish this as fast as possible.
He's grinding those out.
He's grinding it, and we're sitting there experiencing it for the first time, but trying to play the game.
Yep.
Yeah. So
this was my experience first time I played Diablo 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Being
rushed.
But it's definitely more fun with like a couple of friends, and you can go through it at your own pace.
So, didn't Anthem just get into like beta or something?
Yeah, I saw some footage of it.
Does Destiny 2 make you want to play Anthem?
Anthem makes me want to play Destiny 2.
Interesting.
Because I definitely was looking at that being like, I think I'd rather play Destiny 2.
Can you fly in Destiny 2?
You can hover. I've got, there's 3 classes. 2 of the classes have like jetpacks, so they can sort of do this hover glide thing. My class has like a double jump and a triple jump instead. Which I actually like the triple jump a lot more than this. Because I started off playing with a class that had a jetpack, and I was out of control with this jetpack. I couldn't like control it properly.
Right.
Because you have to like hold, I don't know, you had to press the buttons at the right time to like turn the jetpack on and off. And
I do want to say right now, for our listeners, Blake is doing a hand gesture like he's trying to slam a book closed over and over again.
I'm slamming spacebar on my keyboard.
Oh, okay. I don't. If that's how you're trying to use your jetpack, that explains a lot. Yeah. It's like he's trying to shake goo off of his hand. Like
have you seen my keyboard?
Oh.
You get sweaty after playing these games, you know?
Yeah, sure, sweat.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Blake, are you worried about Bungie and their divorce?
So
Divorce.
I'm not worried. Like, from what I've heard, it sounds like it will be a good thing in the long run for players and content.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know. I'm new to the Destiny sort of community, but it seems like a lot of the stuff people didn't like in Destiny 2, they blame Activision for.
Right.
And so the idea,
But how true is that really?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
If their next game is anything.
Yeah, and so a lot of the response has been like people being like, yeah, this is great. Now we can have the game that Bungie always wanted to make without those.
And on mobile.
Yeah, and on mobile. But then what kind of bums me out is that like I've just gotten into Destiny 2, and basically they're gonna just like finish off the season pass, how many more DLCs, and then it's just gonna be Destiny 3.
Right.
And it's sort of like I invested time into this game, and I want to just keep playing this game,
right?
And I just want it,
like have they announced a release date for Destiny? If they even announced Destiny?
No. I mean they've talked about that they're working on it for sure,
right?
Like, but I don't know. I guess it's just like the business model that they've got is like
they got to keep creating new
because
chunks of content.
I kind of prefer Path of Exile's model of just improving on the game constantly, and World of Warcraft's,
and keeping your progress.
Yeah, and keeping your progress and continuing like the story.
Yeah,
and I guess like I don't know. I'll probably play Destiny 3 if I'm still really liking it.
I'm gonna throw this idea out there. Picture a world where instead of another expansion pack coming out for World of Warcraft, it was going to be World of Warcraft 2.
Yeah, I know, right?
I would rather play that.
Yeah.
I I have hit the point with World of Warcraft where there's no appeal for me
Yeah.
to pick up any of the expansions. I'm
Mm.
like several expansions out of date. I played all the way up to and through Mists of Pandaria,
Yeah.
but like there's a point at which you hit like I'm not invested anymore,
Mm.
and it's very hard to like feel the desire to return.
Yeah.
But the idea of like a World of Warcraft 2 blank slate,
Yeah.
new community, new
Yeah.
fresh
I get it.
start, fresh world, that sounds much more exciting to me.
I
So,
get it. And the people that love World of Warcraft will just play World of Warcraft 2,
Yeah.
you know. I don't
So-
know if, because like, I don't know if Destiny 1 is still being played, or did they just be like, that's over now?
I think
Everything's
it's still
shut down.
being played. Like I think you can still play it.
Yeah?
I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, but
Because we don't know.
Yeah.
I might be pulling this out of my butt. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can just. It's just not as popular.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they have. If
Mm.
it's true that Activision were the reason for things that people didn't like in that game, and the stuff people didn't like is pretty minor. It's like there's some microtransactions, there's loot boxes. They're all loot boxes, but it's all cosmetic.
One of the complaints was about how loot was handled.
Yeah, see, I can't relate because I didn't know how it was handled in one. Like I've
Right.
only known that how it's handled now.
I'm again, I might be wrong, but I think in Destiny 1 you could have 3 different weapons or something like that.
You can have
And-
3 different weapons in this.
There was some. It might have been about the way the 3 weapons you could choose, what 3 weapons they could be, or
Okay.
but it was basically like you have less like flexibility in how you play your character in Destiny 2.
Yeah, I kind of see that. There is a weird thing of while you're leveling up, you are just cycling through guns and weapons constantly. Like you'll have like a machine gun as your main gun for a while, and then you'll find a single shot pistol
Yeah.
that its power level is higher, so you want to equip that.
Yeah.
And now that's your main gun for the next hour or two, and then
Yeah.
you find another. You find a shotgun that's like better,
Right.
and you just are like,
See, that sounds fine to me.
yeah, you're just cycling through stuff until you get to a point where I'm pretty much at that now, where I've got certain weapons that I want because I've started caring about actual stats on the weapons
Mm-hmm.
and like passive abilities that they add to your character. Like I've got a gun that when you get a headshot, it activates this thing called Gunslinger, which like reloads my gun really fast.
Okay.
And I really, really like that. So I
Right.
just, like I said, I get those awesome fucking headshots and then reload real fast. It's like,
Right.
it's so cool. So I've kept that gun. And even though I've found stuff that's higher power level, you can infuse the gun you want with the power level of the higher guns,
Okay.
the higher level
Like
guns.
you
You
them
basically
into it or
feed
whatever.
the higher power level gun to the gun that you want.
That's
But
cool.
you
And it
put your gun
changes.
in your gun.
Yeah, you put the gun in your gun, and now the gun that you're using
Gun plus.
is it's now the power level of that gun that it ate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but the thing
Just
is
like
that
in nature.
yeah, just like in nature,
Yeah.
just like the circle of gun life.
Uh-huh.
And to do that though, you need a whole bunch of resources,
Uh-huh.
which you don't really have much of until you get to the sort of like end-ish game. So
Right.
where I'm at now, I'm still like got those resources, but then that kind of also adds on and to the like continued gameplay where I'm like, okay, I want to infuse my gun with this bigger gun.
Yeah.
But I'm lacking a couple of resources, so I'll go do missions on this planet that has like rewards me these resources,
Okay.
and then I infuse it, so it's just this like ongoing kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have like dailies and weekly missions.
Right.
So you have daily missions that give you gear that is almost always an upgrade
Okay.
to you, and then you have weeklies that you'll fill out as well,
And that's even better.
and
I
that's
assume.
better. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So it does just
That's-
hook into that.
if-
Keep playing a little bit every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't appeal to me at all. It's the treadmill.
Well,
of,
it
like-
started to feel a little. It started to get into a bit of a grind now that I've played through all the adventures, which are like side missions on all the planets.
Yeah.
And now, to get gear out of adventures, I have to do the heroic version of those adventures, but it's just repeating the same adventure. It's like not new.
See, I think one of the biggest things that made me like lose interest in World of Warcraft was the swing towards tokens in raids. So it used to be that you would go in your raid with your guild, and the boss would drop 4 items, and you've got 25 or 40 people, however many it was when this takes place.
Yep.
And your guild has a system for doling that gear out. It could be random, it could be DKP, it could be whatever it is, but you get the item, or someone gets those items.
Yep.
And then it became, you go and you fight the boss, and the boss drops a few items, and then everybody also gets tokens.
Okay.
And
you hand those tokens in for gear?
For gear.
Yeah.
And what I don't like about that is there is a clear, like, limit on the amount of time, like the minimum time required to get this gear, and the minimum time required to upgrade it, and all this other stuff. It's just like, we've now metered out your gameplay for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
I think it's much more interesting to have like a lucky moment, or finally have saved up all your DKP, and the boss drops the item you wanted to buy, or whatever it is. Like, that is much more interesting to me.
Well, there is something a little bit like that, where you have a tab on your character screen called Collections.
Yeah.
And it shows all the guns you've owned and all the guns you've seen. And you can, like, basically you can scan through for a gun that you like.
Uh-huh.
And if you can't build it, you can see what you have to do to acquire it.
Okay.
So that gun that I was talking about that had that outlaw perk that allowed me to reload fast.
Yeah.
I saw that in the collection because I really liked that perk, and I
Yep.
really liked this type of gun, and I found one and was like, this is perfect. I'd seen it, I hadn't owned it.
Mhm.
If you own it, if you'd owned it, you can reacquire it, and it just costs like some resources.
Right. But are these time limited resources? Are these like,
No. These are just
dailies?
standard resources that you get, and like you also like disassemble guns into like other resources.
Yeah.
Which are used for infusing or just handing in to like a vendor for
Sure.
stuff. So you're not going to keep a giant collection of guns. You're just going to keep the ones that you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see that you've owned one, and then you can reacquire it. But this one, I'd seen it somewhere. Some player had it, and I'd seen it. And it told me how to get it, and I had to go through this like little mission, this series of missions, which is not like an adventure type mission where you go up to a thing and you click on it and it starts an adventure. It's the kind of thing where you acquire an item, and on the item it has a description of something to do. And it's this is sort of and there's a whole bunch of these things, and they're like these hidden
quest items.
They're like they're like quest items, but you don't really notice you've got them, and until I realized this. Well, I realized that I had all these items, and like scanning over them, I could see that it was giving me instructions to do things.
Scanning over, as in reading.
Well,
them?
just like hovering my mouse over them, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been picking up all these items, and you didn't realize.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, and that also sort of like opened the world up to me more, because I was like, oh, there's all these like extra like quests to do that I didn't know existed, and aren't like actual quests in a quest log. They're just there.
Yeah.
And so I went through this thing to acquire this gun, and I got it, and I was like, hey, that's like a rewarding thing, you know. I saw something I wanted. Yep. And I ran through this stuff to get
it. There is a clear and direct path for you to do and achieve the thing you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's up to you at the rate at which you do it.
Yeah.
But the idea of like grinding through dailies and weeklies sucks.
Yeah, I'm not 100% cool with that. And also like, well, I'm doing it now because I've got these DLCs, and one of the DLCs requires, well, the recommended power level is like 610, and so there's this like grind that I have to get to 610, and 10 to
Before you can
start
do the
this
thing.
like DLC
Sure.
stuff.
Right.
And so I'm okay grinding for now
Yep.
because I've got a reward of more content to come.
yeah.
And I think that's just a benefit of me starting this game like quite late, like a year after it's come out, and
Yeah.
there's all this like extra content. But if I was like playing from the start and was like at the very,
You-
running
once
through
you-
the content as it was coming out, I
Yeah.
think I would get pretty bored.
Yeah. That sounds plausible.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe I think it is just I've gotten in at the right time because I've like there's a couple more DLCs to be announced
Okay.
to come out.
Yeah.
And so I'm always behind the content.
But how long will that last? It's hard.
Well,
to tell.
it'll
Like,
last until I guess they stop making DLC and then
Well,
start
and
talking about Destiny 3, and then I'll
pretty
be like,
much
well,
no MMO makes content at a rate as fast as or faster than players can clear it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna probably get to a point where you're waiting
yeah,
for the DLC,
yeah, probably.
and then
I mean,
then
probably,
that's when Destiny 2
Yeah.
will really.
Well, that's going to
be
be the real
tested.
test, and then I'll be
Yeah.
like, why am I bothering to raise my power level more
Yep.
and more when there's raising my power level for the sake of raising my power level? Some people really like that. Like my mate that I'm playing with loves that sort of thing. He loves watching numbers go up.
I mean, our
And-
game completely relies on that. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Like a lot of people really like that, but I
In
definitely
a sense,
feel
we're
like
in a glass house in that.
yeah, I
regard.
definitely feel like I need a little bit of structure around those numbers going up. I
Yep.
love numbers going up.
Yep.
But I like
Hey,
new stuff.
I'm
to
the one
do
who
while
plays
those
idle
numbers are
games
going up.
nonstop.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I get it.
yeah. And also, man, it is a beautiful looking game.
Oh,
Yeah, it's I can't it like it just looks really nice.
all right.
Like I don't know. I mean I know you want some technical stuff. You want some technical talk, but I'm talking about like they basically colors.
Okay.
How many MIP maps?
All of them.
Ah, cool.
What?
But they have like every planet has a theme, and every planet
How
like
big are these planets?
there's a bunch.
How big are they?
They're reasonably large. Some of them are very, very small. Like there's like Mercury, which is a small planet anyway.
Yeah.
But it is basically just a big arena,
Okay.
and that's definitely my least favorite planet because
Okay.
there's like it's just too small. It's not interesting.
So wait, it takes place in the solar system
Yeah, it
that
takes
we know?
place in our solar system.
Huh.
And that's also another thing. They've got this whole like backstory and lore and stuff that I
Yep.
started like reading into, and like it's really, really cool.
Huh.
Like Bungie, man, they make some
I hear they're
good
good.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're leaving the nest.
Yeah.
You'll find that they were out of the nest for a while before they.
Oh yeah. They climbed into a nest.
Yeah.
And then they decided they didn't like this nest.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for me it was interesting just watching their path after Halo,
Mm.
and signing that 10-year deal. That
Yeah.
everyone was like,
Mm.
well, what could this be?
Yeah.
And then to have it end prematurely is interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you, Saveun?
What's that?
Let's talk about some of the games you've been playing.
It's mainly just Red Dead Online and Ashen. Ashen's
Yeah, so
cool.
Tell me
Ashen's
about Ashen.
Ashen's rough, man. That's the kind of game that I am not used to.
It looks like kind of a Dark Souls.
Very much so.
Okay.
It plays like a Dark Souls game,
Right.
From what I know about Dark Souls games, but it looks nice.
Yeah, I always
it's
like
really
the-
flat shaded. It's
Mm.
it's cool. It feels good just walking around, but everything wants to kill you. And
No one wants to be your friend.
no, I was playing the other day and I saw a cave, and me and my buddy with like a mustache,
Yep. The mustache guy.
went into this cave. They have no other features. Like
Yeah.
that's how you describe this one guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
he's,
Oh, yeah.
he's an NPC. It wasn't like a
He's-
real friend of yours. Who
No,
you're playing
not
this
at all.
game with.
Well, actually, have you noticed? Have you been playing with multiplayer on?
I don't even know.
Because so the way they've done multiplayer is that
People just come in and out.
people
right?
will load in, but to you they'll just look like one of those NPCs.
Huh.
And the only way I realized, well, I'd heard about this, but the only way I realized it was happening was that I was going through a dungeon and the NPC started acting completely different.
Yep. He was trying to talk to you.
Yeah,
He was flippant.
but
yeah.
he was doing stuff like completely different.
Jumping and spinning in the air and
Kind of.
teabagging you.
Kind of. And then like, yeah, and then I realized, holy shit, this must be a player.
Yep.
Because he was like running ahead of me and
Right.
stuff, like way ahead. And I
Yeah.
was like, holy crap. Yeah, so that's kind of cool the
That's
way they
pretty
do
funny.
that. Yeah.
Well, I went into this cave with my boy, and I saw a ghostly figure
Yeah.
just standing at the entrance, and I was like, "Whoa, this looks really creepy."
Red eyes.
I think it did have red eyes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I walked closer to it, and then it just like disappeared. It just vanished into like particles, and then I walk into the cave and I look into the distance, and I see it again, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what could this be? Like, is this a quest giver?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this game, and I happen to have spares on me, so I load my spares up, and I went to throw it, try because everything's killing you.
Yeah.
So I try to kill it, and I don't know, it must hit the ghost thing, but this thing just like teleports, kills my guy,
Yeah.
kills me in
Yeah.
like 2 shots, and I'm just like,
Dude, those things are scary. Like, I
sucks,
hate
man.
those things.
yeah,
Because they do that thing, right? You see them, and then you're like, oh shit, and then they'll disappear.
yeah,
And you're like, the next time you see it, you take a few steps forward, and it just like,
lurches at
lunges at you, and just in a flash, it's like on you.
you. Yeah, so
Jeez.
it's punishing, man. To like, and the controller, like I'm not used to this control scheme.
Are you enjoying it?
No.
You still got pretty far. Like, that cave is in like the 3rd area, right?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No,
Okay.
I didn't even have a checkpoint. Like when I
Oh, shit. Okay.
discovered it.
But
yeah,
is
like
it in
the
the
whole
area with the big whale sitting on top of like some ruins?
I don't even know, man.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll get there.
I just found the first camp. Like that. That's
Oh,
where I am.
okay.
I
Yeah.
did the first mission.
Oh, okay.
That's where I am.
Never mind. Oh man, so this is a repeating thing then.
Yeah.
this specter
Mm.
and caves.
I was telling you, Blake, before that I just kept finding like these fruit things that replenish your health.
Yeah.
And I just kept consuming them because I'm not used to that control scheme.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So then I'd like just rock out, and I'd have half a thing of health, and some guy would just catch me. You know, just poor timing on my
Sure.
end.
Okay, you've been playing Red Dead,
Mm.
and one of the main criticisms leveled at that game was controls.
Yep.
Do you think it's just a matter of you're not used to it,
Yeah.
and
for sure.
in time you'll get used to it, and then you'll start enjoying the game, or do you think it's just like
You know, I hope that's the case, and I just get used to it, and then I can enjoy it
yeah,
as like a video game that I can progress through.
Yeah.
Apparently, I need some items, a flask or something.
Yeah. That your main guy with the mustache.
Yeah.
Like you
I got to do a mission for this.
Yeah, you do a mission for that guy, and he'll give you like a replenishing like health flask.
Mm-hmm. So once I get that, it sounds like I'll be away.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I was the same thing. I was like, I had those berries, and I was like, is this the only way I'm gonna? So there are NPCs around
Mm.
that don't attack you,
No.
and you can talk to them. You can talk to them, and they'll sell you those berries.
Huh. Okay. How do I pay for them?
I think it's like what's
The
it called?
souls?
The souls. Yeah. Damn it. What's it called? Like
I forgot.
scoria or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a whole new learning curve for me.
Mm.
And I was telling Blake, I kind of want to get into these Souls-like games this year. I think that will be my
Interesting.
goal. I'll try to complete Ashen at some point.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go and play Bloodborne at some point.
Man, that's a jump.
Did you ever play Cuphead?
No.
Does that appeal?
No.
Because that's quite a hardcore game as well, and while it's not like a 3D hack and slash like Souls, it's a lot of this. It requires a lot of the same skills,
Mm.
like reaction time and pattern memorization and planning and positioning.
I also remember people complaining about the controls with that game.
In Cuphead,
Yeah.
yeah, but you can change the controls in
Oh,
that
yeah.
game, so it's not actually that big a problem. But yeah, there was some weird stuff with like where shoot and jump were
Yeah.
by default, if I
Yeah.
recall.
But these controls for Ashen are almost identical to Dark Souls.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. Another reason I want to play Bloodborne is because there's a really cool artist that joined the team, and he was telling me about it, and it just sounded awesome. Like everything about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a cool accent that he had, but yeah, everything sounded really cool about
Yep.
about Bloodborne. Something like monster design. I love
Yeah.
how they can, because of Path of Exile, we don't have monsters that can have like or convey anticipation or anything. They just swarm you.
Yeah.
In Path of Exile.
Yeah.
But it's cool that a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne or an Ashen type game, you can see that, you can feel it.
Yeah.
There is that dance that goes on.
And you end up getting to know enemy types as well.
Mm.
Like there are the slower guys, there
Yeah.
are like the faster guys, and they were clearly different.
Yeah.
They clearly look different.
So I've always liked that about these games, but yeah, I never thought it would be this frustrating to play.
It's
on my end.
dude, I thought it was a much more easier to get into Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's funny.
A much more approachable Dark Souls.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So once you've beaten Ashen, then you can actually start.
Yeah.
Yeah, start playing Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be good enough to maybe kill the first enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's cool. And I've been playing Ashen, but I've gotten to a point where it's really. I've gotten to a point where it's a bit of a wall, and it's very, very frustrating.
Right.
There's this point where like all these people are throwing spears at you from up high, and you have to run through a courtyard before you can get up to them.
Yeah.
And I just die every time.
Shit.
It's really tough.
Dark Souls had some similar.
Yeah, it
areas.
reminded me of there's a Dark Souls area where a guy is shooting, or people are shooting arrows at you, and you have to run along a ledge, and if you deviate too far, you fall to your death.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
That
It's the
sounds
most
really fun.
ridiculous part of Dark Souls.
That's the most ridiculous.
Yeah,
part?
that's the most ridiculous
Not
part.
the egg?
Not the egg. The egg is like egg is an awesome Easter egg. It's great.
God. All right. So one thing I wanted to mention, because I've been playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Yep.
I've been playing with my wife, but We've been playing it as a Nuzlocke run. Do you guys know
What's
what a
that?
Nuzlocke
No.
run is? Okay, so it's a special way of playing Pokemon. It makes it harder, and it makes you very sad.
Really?
Yeah. So the way it works, the rules are you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter in an area,
Yep. Oh wow.
and you have to give it a nickname.
Yep.
In battles, you're not allowed to use any items.
Okay.
And if a Pokemon faints, you have to get rid of it.
Whoa. So this is like the hardcore.
Exactly.
This is the Dark Souls of Pokemon you're playing.
Exactly. And so we've been playing it that way, and we lost some Pokemon. It was kind of heart wrenching, I gotta
Wow.
say. We're up to the 8th gym badge at the moment, and it's
Okay.
if you've played the original Pokemon, it's functionally the same game.
Mhm.
So we're really enjoying it, but man, it gets very like you'll fight someone and you'll be like, oh, we've got this, and then it'll knock one of your Pokemon down to 3 HP, and you'll be like, oh no,
Wow.
oh, and you guys start getting like real genuine
that's
fear.
actually
And
pretty cool. Like it's the like Iron Man.
yeah,
Iron Man Pokemon. Like
yes,
that sounds really cool.
Yeah,
Where, Iron Man games where you have only like no saves or whatever.
Right.
So this is like you lose a Pokemon. That's it.
yep, that's right.
I'm kind of
It's
into
fun.
this.
It's fun, but it's also like it is actually genuinely upsetting at times.
Yeah.
Like, I just stupidly, like, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. It was like we were fighting Eradicate,
Yeah.
or something, and I did not think about the fact that Eradicate could have Bite, which is a Dark type move,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I had a Psychic type Pokemon out, and he had used Bite, and it one shot.
Oh,
That's
no.
like.
And what-
Kadabra that we'd been leveling up for ages,
Oh,
and we
man.
were like super stoked to have this great Pokemon. It was kicking so much butt, and
Yeah.
it got one shot,
Oh.
and we were just like devastated.
I also like how you're forced to name your
That's
Pokemon
exactly right.
because it makes you like relate to them and bond with them
Yes,
way
yes.
more than
and you refer to them all the time by
Yep.
name because we're playing together.
Yeah, yeah.
And Carrie doesn't have like a huge amount of Pokemon knowledge, and so I'm often saying, okay, so this is a Dark type. We'll want to. You want to use these moves, well, and switch to this one, well, and so I'm saying the Pokemon names a
Yeah.
lot,
yeah.
and so we really do get to know these Pokemon,
That's
and we're
so
also like,
cool.
yeah, we're regularly checking the
Yeah.
stats and teaching the moves, and trying to keep them strong. And
Yeah. That would be, you know what? This would be amazing if it was an
Heartbreaking.
actual feature in a real Pokemon game.
to toggle on Nuzlocke.
Yeah, and not only that, but then give you a like lost Pokemon list,
Like
with-
a graveyard.
yeah, like a graveyard of Pokemon, and you can just look back and
dark.
go, oh no, like in XCOM when you lose a character, it's like soldiers lost. There's a board of
That's
soldiers lost.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can look back and be like, damn it, I remember Sniper Boy.
Yeah. 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 We the first one we lost, I think, was Gregory Peck.
Oh man, who's your
The Pidgey.
who's your top guy? Who's your top Pokemon right now?
Probably the Pikachu you start with.
Oh yeah,
called Lemon Bitch.
Whoa.
We struggle with the names.
Yep.
Um.
But that's the thing. As long as you name them,
Yes.
like that's it. Like you.
I can tell. I
connect
can
to
take
them.
you through our team.
Yeah.
Lemon Bitch is our Pikachu.
Yep.
Kissy Boy is our Gyarados, raised from a level 5 Magikarp that we bought from a guy at
Wow.
Pokemon Center outside Mount Moon.
Cool.
Then we've got Julio, which is got several extra O's at the end.
Yeah.
Is a Dragonair that we're trying to raise into a Dragon Knight.
Right.
That one's been ongoing for a long time. Who else do we have? Oh, Shrek is a Venusaur
Nice.
because he's green.
Yep.
And we're very creative.
Yep. I got it.
I'll explain it to you really quickly.
Yeah.
Because Shrek is also the. Are you familiar with the film Shrek?
He's like
Shrek 2?
he's like an onion, right? Many layers. I believe that's.
Or Parfait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you Shrek the Third? Are you familiar with that film?
No, I've only seen the second one.
Okay. Well, so in Shrek the Third, he's also green,
Okay.
and so in fact, it's kind of
No,
a through
it-
line of the
it-
series is that he's always green.
In the second one, I think he turns human. Does that not stay? I only saw like half of it.
Oh, I don't remember. I think the last I saw that in 7th grade. I think. Anyway, who am I missing here? We've got the fire type is an Arcanine
Yep.
called Hot Diggity,
Okay.
because Hot Diggity dog,
Oh, that's
Um,
pretty clever.
and
That's way better than the green one.
then Shrek.
Yep.
You son of a bitch. Who am I missing?
Did you hear they're rebooting Shrek?
Are they really?
I
Is
heard
it going to be
somewhere
a
that they're
Christopher
rebooting
Nolan
Shrek.
gritty dark reboot?
I don't know. I don't know why they need to. I think those movies are perfect. Except for the third
Where's
one.
the donkey from?
The third one's not that great.
I'm like an onion.
I'm looking on you. Layers.
Hang on. I'm who am I forgetting here? I'm forgetting a Pokemon.
Do you have a rock type?
No, hang
You
on.
get-
So
got an on
we've
it?
got lightning, fire, grass,
Hmm.
water, dragon.
You had Psychic for a while.
Yeah, but that's not who we're using. Oh, Snorlax.
Oh, what's his name?
What is our Snorlax's name? It's Dash Magnesium, but like elite speak Dash because he's super elite. He's really strong.
Cool.
So
Cool.
I
Okay.
forget why we called him Magnesium. There was a reason. It made sense at the
Probably
time.
some in joke.
A lot of the time we're
No one will
playing
get.
is like it's like 1 a.m.
Oh yeah.
And so like it's like
Yeah.
we'll catch one more
Is this,
Pokemon.
is this why you can't sleep?
It's probably not helping.
Was that on the podcast? It
No.
wasn't. It was
No.
just before the podcast. You were
Yeah.
complaining that you can't
I-
sleep at
I have
night,
sleeping-
and now we hear that you're up at 1 a.m. playing Pokemon.
Don't judge me. Anyway, I highly suggest doing a Nuzlocke run. So there are some other things about Nuzlocke runs. In normal Pokemon games, if you don't catch the first Pokemon you encounter, you don't get a Pokemon from that area. So there's like
Wow,
lots
that's
of
even more
rules.
hardcore.
Yeah. On top of that, so you end up spending like quite a lot of time grinding in these areas.
Yeah.
To like keep yourself high enough level that your Pokemon don't die.
Hmm.
But in the current in the Let's Go games, you don't fight Pokemon in the wild.
Right. What do you do?
You just catch them.
Okay, and
Like
it's
it
Pokemon Go
uses
style
Pokemon Go
catching, right?
style. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to like aim carefully and
Yeah.
throw the ball carefully. So whenever we're in a new area, we have to like really carefully select like which Pokemon we're going to go for. Also,
Yeah.
because unlike in normal Pokemon games where the encounters are random, in the Let's Go games, you see the Pokemon appear,
Oh, okay.
and you like either they run it towards you or you can run to them. And so you actually we spend a lot of time like running in the grass trying to avoid specific Pokemon, and then hoping that something good will spawn, and then we end up running into a Rattata or whatever.
Yep,
But
yep.
there's rules about getting doubles, so we don't get that. But it's quite interesting. There's a tension in this version because of the way you don't fight these Pokemon normally.
Mm.
To level up, you have to be catching Pokemon, but you can't catch Pokemon. You can only catch one Pokemon per area
Yep.
in normal Nuzlocke rules. So the way that we've done this is you could only catch Pokemon of a type that you've caught before.
Oh.
So now there's a tension between getting the rare and strong Pokemon in an area and getting a Pokemon in an area that will allow you to grind well.
Mm.
Because if you catch the rare strong Pokemon, great, you've got an awesome Pokemon, but you can't grind in that area.
Yeah.
Because everything else you can't catch.
So the way you level up Pokemon, is it the same as in Pokemon Go where you just feed?
No,
them or
no.
something?
You
You
get
give-
experience for catching. And in fact, they give you way more experience for catching than like battling other trainers.
Oh, wow.
The actual economy in that game is kind of bit
Huh.
backwards. You grind your Pokemon very easily.
Hmm.
But I actually quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
You get bonuses for like because we can play together. You get bonuses for tossing the Pokeballs at the same time and
Oh,
timing. And,
wait, really? Like you have two switches?
no, but the Switch breaks into two controllers.
Oh, yeah.
and
of
actually,
course. Yeah, yeah.
This is my main criticism of that game. You can only use one of those like little Joy-Cons
Yeah.
at a time.
Right.
Like you cannot use both. The game only has one control scheme, and it is like at least when it's docked,
Mm.
and it is you hold one Joy-Con, and that's all of your buttons.
Okay.
So you move with the control stick, and you've got 4 other buttons.
Yep.
That's rough.
Which is just a bit weird, and it also means that like I end up with the left-handed Joy-Con, and I have to use my right hand, or it's just kind of a strange. Why they didn't say you can use a Pro controller, or you can use whatever you want, I don't know. That's my main criticism in that game.
Wait, can't you turn it on its side?
Not for that game.
No.
Not for Pokemon.
Hmm.
Yeah. That was a weird choice, and I think they should reverse it.
Hmm.
They've got another Pokemon game allegedly coming out this year, maybe.
A real one?
Yeah, like another, like a true successor to the Pokemon franchise.
Would it coincide with Detective Pikachu? The movie?
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Have you seen that trailer, by
It
the way?
looks so cool.
I'm like stoked to see that movie.
I'm totally gonna see that. I can't tell the general like opinion on that if people are really liking it or if they actually hate it. Like I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
But like I've seen people online, I guess, complaining about it. But I'm like, why would you complain about this? This looks great.
There's red flags. It looks like it reminds me of the Super Mario Brothers movie. Like
Ooh,
it's
dark and gritty?
Consider
Oh.
it's like
Oh.
real human people
Yeah.
interacting with video game characters in a gritty so there are things that
Yeah.
make me nervous.
Yeah.
But this could be great. I don't know.
I think
I'm stoked.
I think it'd be great.
I'm really excited.
I like the way they adapted the cartoon things to 3D.
Yeah.
They look good.
Yeah, they look really good.
Well, they've had that for like 20 years.
Yeah, I suppose.
That look.
Pokemon, yeah, Pokemon.
Remember Space Jam?
No, but
How
just
could I forget?
consider when Pokemon, was it called Pokemon Arena when it came out on Nintendo 64?
Yeah, I
like
remember
it was
Pokemon
just like
Arena.
a 3D
Yeah.
battle
Yeah,
Pokemon
yeah.
game.
Mm.
And so they've had 3D Pokemon models.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
shit, I'm not talking nothing like this.
Yeah,
no,
Pikachu's got
This is
fur, man.
fur,
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looks like a
Sure,
little
sure,
This is
rat.
close. This is closer to those, those concept art of
Yeah.
like realistic Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Yeah,
way
that's a good
closer to
point.
that.
Yeah, I love how they adapted him.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good point. Fair point.
Hmm.
I concede.
I'm really looking for. I'm really looking forward to that movie.
Me too.
Yeah.
If you're looking forward to that movie, you should email us at frontseatquestions@gmail.com because we're out of time.
Yep.
We didn't even talk about Betrayal at all.
No, and we didn't talk about Stonehearth that I've been playing.
Oh, yeah.
I'll talk about that next week. Or next
I will
2
really
weeks?
quickly say, Betrayal was a really interesting expansion to work on. This is the most writing I've done for Path of Exile, and it turned out well.
Yeah. What's your favorite line that you wrote in this expansion?
I like a lot of Giannis's lines. I wrote his I basically wrote Giannis, and he's he's such a weenie. And whenever you bargain with him,
Yeah.
he's like I wrote him. Here's fun fact: when I was writing Giannis, I was sort of channeling Tahani from The Good Place. So if you're a Good Place fan and you're playing Path of Exile, next time you run into Giannis,
Mm-hmm.
think about Tahani, and you'll sort of get an idea of where I was coming from. So Giannis was really fun. Hillik was an interesting one. I tried to make him I wrote him in a way that you would pity him, and it really worked. Maybe too much.
I've been killed so many times.
Well, yeah, pretty much. He's got brain damage from
Yep.
had a section of his skull missing, and
Yep.
so he talks about it. I basically try to illustrate what it probably is like to live with that kind of brain damage. It's kind of harrowing.
Wow.
And he's aware of it?
He's aware of it.
Okay.
He is. He's like, I remember I used to be smarter than this and faster, and he's like a real bummer.
You must get a lot of enjoyment watching Twitch streams of people
Oh,
playing through
I do.
and encountering.
Yeah. But also, sometimes it's miserable because you'll be really excited for people to meet this character, and then they'll just immediately skip all the dialogue
Yeah.
and go,
Yep.
dumb.
We know that pain.
Yeah. Anyway, we're on Twitter at FrontSeatCast. Why don't you follow us? We've also got a Facebook page, facebook.com/FrontSeatCast. Our WordPress site is frontseatgamer.wordpress.com. Our YouTube page, we got a bunch of subscribers last year. You should be one of them. You should subscribe at youtube.com/FrontSeatCast. You can sometimes see Saveun and possibly Blake playing video games on twitch.tv/FrontSeatCast, or maybe just doing 3D modeling. And maybe I'll take a look at it sometime.
I want to get into some twitching this year.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it,
I
man.
get enough twitching with my restless legs.
Yep.
We're on Spotify. That's just a fact.
Yep.
It's just nice to
It's on
say.
there.
We're also on iTunes.
Yep.
So you should rate us on there and tell your friends. I want to thank Leanne Booten for our great logo. LeanneBooten.tumblr.com and Andrew for our music, notfornothing.com, NAUGHT for nothing.com. We'll be back in a couple weeks, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah? Great. We'll talk about probably Stonehearth then.
Yep. Stonehearth.
Stonehearth.
Great game.
Great game, apparently.
Yep.
Better than Hearthstone?
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Absolutely better.
Or possibly in other places. All right, we'll be back then. Bye! Did I ever tell you about when I had bad tonsillitis for 3 months?
Bad.
Yeah, so the thing is, I got tonsillitis,
Good
and then the symptoms started going away, and I think I must have. I think I stopped taking the antibiotics like an idiot.
Nice. That's what everyone does, right? That's what you do.
You have to finish your course.
I know. I don't remember what happened. This is just after I moved to New Zealand. It came back, and so I started taking more and more antibiotics on the doctor's orders, and they get stronger and stronger. But I started feeling like my throat was closing up,
Oh my god.
and as it turns out, I had a thing called Quincy. You know what that is?
Quincy Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. So I had this record producer who was just hanging out.
He came over and just kept hitting you in the throat.
Yeah. He was the hit maker.
You don't
And
want to have OJ. You don't want that one.
anyway,
What is
so
Quincy?
Quincy is an infection of the tissue behind the tonsils. So basically, you've got your tonsils, and then you've got your throat, and an infection can get trapped basically in the layers of flesh.
Wow.
And what was happening is, so it was basically this area that was filling with pus, and I didn't know. And I was at home one night, and I'm like, I don't even remember. Maybe I was on the phone, or maybe I was just getting ready for bed or something. and I felt something pop in my throat,
God.
and my mouth filled with pus. And I was like, and I had a glass in my room, and I started spitting, and it just pus, tons of pus started coming out. And I spent literally like an hour coughing up pus and blood until it was just blood. And
you were cured.
It was actually. I was much better. Like
Wow.
I could swallow again, and like
Oh my God.
it was. Apparently, people have died from this before. Like it has killed
Dude,
presidents.
if that happened in your sleep,
yeah,
you could have just drowned.
yeah, probably.
You probably would have woken up, but you could have drowned.
Yeah, or worst case scenario, I would have just like, or at least the best case scenario, I would have swallowed a bunch of pus.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
No, it's
So
not.
it was also one of the worst tasting things I've ever had in my mouth.
God.
Yeah, that was not fun.
What about that?
What about the fed cheesecake?
The fed cheesecake though. You've had that. So.
Let's do a fucking.
Now I
podcast.
see where your appreciation of good food comes from, because you're like, I've tasted the worst
I've
thing.
tasted the worst. Trying to find the best.